there's actually quite a few dimensions to smack. So firstly, smack is actually a slang name for yeast. When myself and my brother David and our mutual friend Grant, the three of us, when we started home brewing, we used these yeast packs, and they were called smack packs. So it's a slang name that we always called our yeast, okay? And yeast in brewing is just vital. It's really the lifeblood of brewing. So we decided one of these days, smack, it was always kind of in our minds. The second thing really, what smack represents, it's this collision we feel between the allure and the charm of the old city of Joburg, the old buildings, for example, this building is about 100 years old. So it's that collision of the old Joburg together with this new revival and the new energy that's happening. So that's coming together, and the collision of old and new, it's kind of where smack, comes from. And then, lastly, obviously, it's just a bit of fun, really, as the brewery developed. It's also this mixture and collision of craft beer and art, which is why we decided to take up a residence here at the Arts on Main building. And, as you can see behind me, we're very passionate about getting young, artists in to exhibit their work. So between those three things, it's really where Smack came about. So we have three beers in our range. Firstly is the Golden Ale. It is this one over here. It's called the Bree Street Bell. And essentially a golden ale is a nice, smooth, easy drinking ale, nice and light. Essentially, this is the beer that we call our gateway beer. So when people come in here and they're only really used to drinking lagers, we say, Bree Street Bell, it's the golden ale, it's the perfect one to kind of get people into that craft frame of mind. Then the second beer we offer is called the Maboneng Maverick. Maboneng, it's obviously named after this Maboneng precinct where we are. And that is a Saison, which is a Belgian-style ale. So it's a spicier ale, made with a little bit of wheat. So it's similar, some would say, to the Weiss beers. And then we give it a nice South African twist. We infuse it with naartjie peel and black pepper. All right, so again, for people who like their more cloudy beers, this one's good. And then the last one we have is called the Braamfontein Brawler. Now, as the name suggests, it's quite a tough beer, quite bitter. And this is a nice, full-on, rich, dark ale, very bitter, but full of aroma and full of flavor. It's just quite high on the bittering scale. So that's why we've named it the Brawler, because it's not really for the faint of heart. We look at brewing as an art form. We see it as almost poetry unfolding when we brew. We were always fascinated by the little nuances that beer could give us. For example, if we brew the beer at a few degrees higher or lower, it has this butterfly effect on the end result of the beer. And we were always fascinated by all these little nuances. As well as, when we add the hops. If we add the hops at a certain point, or if we add it 10 minutes later, again, your end product was drastically different. And we were always fascinated by this. So we put all of our creative energy and passion and wacky ideas, We're quite a progressive brewery in the sense that we don't make a lager, for example. There's nothing wrong with lager, it's a fantastic beer. We sort of tend towards ales, whereby we can really experiment with fresh ingredients and often quite crazy ingredients. We do honey rooibos ales, we do chocolate beers, we do coffee beers. We brew a beer that's got peppercorns in, cracked peppercorns and naartjie peels, for example. So our philosophy really is just to be forward-thinking, progressive, creative, and just to open up people's minds really, just to something maybe a little bit different to what they're used to. We are all over social media, so we're very passionate on Instagram, as well as Facebook and Twitter, so you can find us all over there. And then our website address is www.smackrepublic.com. Which is all one word, and pretty much all of it is on there. And we look forward to, please look us up. We look forward to having you in the brewery sometime for a few cold ones.